Today is Monday, April the 29th, 2013. My name is David Faber, and I'm doing a site analysis for a good buddy of mine, Clint Evans. And this is for hipchickfitness.com. First thing I'm going to say is if I hit reload here, notice, well, maybe you could or maybe you couldn't notice, I'm going to make this font way bigger here so you can see. Usually I just do speed analyses. On this particular site I'm going to do a little bit more. This font looks okay, and I've made it really big. If I start making it smaller, I choose to know if you can see or not. The font starts washing out really bad. It's got lots of pixelization and looks like little echoes. So what I'm going to do is, this is far beyond the scope of what I was going to do here. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to right click, I'm in Chrome. Actually I'm going to highlight a word and I'm going to right click on it and say Inspect Element, so I can see what's going on here. Okay, so here's here there's a couple of problems here. First off, there's a weird color set for the font. If we change that to black, maybe you can see that, maybe not. It makes it much more readable. Also, this font here, see, if I turn off all the fonts there, see the text becomes much more readable. Now if I go in here and I edit this, if I edit this font information here, okay, trying to get a hold of the font information here. Okay, got it. Now if I change this to 1 EM Arial, now see how clear and readable that is? Way more readable. So the first thing I'd say about this page is to get rid of this weird font color here. Change this font to black. See here, this is changed it to blue. So you can go into Chrome and you can actually do checks like this right on the fly. I would change the color to black. Also, if a person's printing this out, a lot of times a person's printer will change black that's grayed like that to combinations of black and blue, which will just run out their blue ink for no reason. So first thing, just for readability, I'd say change the font color to black and change the font face to, instead of Helvetica New, all this nonsense here with Helvetica, I would take the Helvetica out and just change it to Arial and maybe 1.25 EM. Yeah, so you can see the larger the font size, the more readable it is, and it's usually you'll get a smoother font. The edges of the font will be smoother if the fonts are specified in EM, so that it's really complicated to explain, but basically the geometry of how pages are drawn works in most cases a lot better in EMs instead of pixels. Alright, so that's was different than what I was really going to talk about here, but anyway, we'll say first thing is font number 1, font color black, and font family to, what was that, Arial and sans serif, or I forget, or I'll remember once I see. Yeah, sans serif. So Arial, sans serif. which is right here. And if you do require to use some sort of Helvetica-like font, instead of using the Helvetica font, which is available on a person's computer, which might or might not be there, and it might look completely different than you imagine, use a Google font. And you can go and look up Google fonts to see how to do that. So sans serif. Okay, third thing, let's just glance at the step behind the curtain here and look and see what fonts being, or what themes being used. This is using an old, the old 2011 theme, which has some really challenging, has some challenges with showing up correctly on responsive devices, which are, a responsive theme is a theme that shows up on any phone or tablet or laptop or big screen monitor or big screen TV, all the way up to a 4x5 projection system. It just all works. So I would recommend also that these guys, Clint, I'd recommend you change to 2012, and that may give you a little bit better presentation on different types of mobile devices. Also, this nonsense here, SEO Pack 2, I got no idea what that is, but look at all this nonsense that it puts in here. Oh, that's put in by What's Up. It looks like this is the only thing put in by All-in-One SEO Pack. You're probably better off just using something that edits the meta keywords independently of a plugin. No reason really to use another plugin. It's just something else to break. I just know what. Oh, you know what's interesting is that you guys are using this What's Up system, and there's a lot of stuff being put in here, and there's a lot of this. See this set time thing here. Set time, set timer. Okay, that's probably all right. I'm unsure what the effect on speed or throughput is going to be with all this gobbledygook in here. So if there's a speed challenge when we look at your speed analysis, I would turn off What's Up first and retest your speed analysis. And if this speed dramatically improves, then find something different than this What's Up is it's a performance monitor system. All right. Last two quick checks. We're going to look at the HTML. And there's only a couple of errors, except one of them is really bad. You really got to fix this. The H group, that's really, to my knowledge, this is incorrect unless the W3 standard is changed. It may be that H groups have been replaced completely now by the header tag, which is probably correct. So this H group, probably you'll have to scrape through the theme, and this is probably also a problem with the theme. If you upgrade the theme, this probably just is fixed automatically. This is probably automatically converted to, so H group, so theme update is going to fix responsiveness, device support, and also is going to probably fix the H group to header tag conversion. What was the other one? Oh, remove or temporarily disable was up if there are any performance challenges. This other one here, there is no such thing as a center tag anymore. There hadn't been for years. That has to be handled in CSS. If you use the center tag, most browsers will try to compensate for that, but you should really get rid of it. This is just a warning here. Just find wherever this script and language equal JavaScript is. It may be a theme file, or this may be spit out by the header file that goes along, the header.php that goes along with the theme. So if the theme is updated, this probably this warning disappears too, and that way you'll get a clean HTML test. So now let's look at the CSS. Oh dear. I don't know what all this stuff is, but it's going to certainly slow down. Alright, I'm just going to say to fix HTML to be error-free, and the same with the CSS. And I'm going to suggest that Clint, if you take a look at the first case study I did on Ezra's site, I walk through how to fix all this. Some of this is seriously broken. This first thing here, this is seriously broken, and again, this is 2011. When you change to 2012, that'll fix that. So really, it's just really ought to change to 2012 first off before you do anything else and retest all this. For all this nonsense, these are all vendor prefixes. This -moz, -webkit, and that is all fixed by using the technique I talk about in Ezra's video, which is using the modernizer.com shim library, and you can clean up your CSS by fixing your upgrading your theme and your fixing your CSS. That should give you clean, using Modernizer, that should give you clean CSS there. Alright, let's get on to the speed analysis. So we'll highlight the check here, or the link, and we'll go to, in fact I already did this. Let's just pull up, let's see, here is the www. Oh. Let's do a test of so that we're doing a test. This is of the bear domain, which is Hip Chick Fitness, and this test is of the www, the subdomain. Alright, so let's take a look here. And the way you use webpagetest.org is you just, once you run your website through this tester, you just look for two main things. One is the scores up here. They should be all A's. It looks like well, you just have to click on these and show how to fix those, and it tells you exactly how. My guess is that Clint for this domain is using some stupidly broken hosting site like Bluehost or HostGator that's just ridiculous about how they configure servers. So fixing static content means that there are configurations you can do in your web server so that if somebody loads an image, for example, that image isn't going to change. I mean, if you've got an image, for example, of let's bring this site up here again. if you've got an image here, one other thing here, this tell us your goal, Clint, personally I would get rid of that, because I noticed when I came to this site, first off, I looked at this. Boy, is this taking a long time. First off, that's ugly. Next off, it appears maybe it's even broken now. This takes me completely out of the flow. You want people reading your content and taking action on your content. So if you have some sort of like poll or questionnaire or something that you'd like somebody to answer, put that in line so that it's a natural flow of the site. This appears to be broken, so we're going to skip it right now. So Hip Chick Fitness, let's see. So this is some kind of font. We're going to look at that a little bit here in a minute. But anyway, there appears to be some images, a whole bunch of images, by the way, which are so basically what you're looking for, Clint, right here is instead of 0 out of 100, you're looking for 100 out of 100, 100 out of 100, 100 out of 100. So this is going to, you're going to pay a pretty significant penalty on speed for having no date stamp. So basically this is saying that there's no date stamp on this image. So this clint's2.ping, it's doubtful if that file will ever change. If it does, what I normally do in my images is like clint's2ping. I'll name that 2012-12-31-clint's2ping, and if I ever have to change it, I'll just change it to like 2013-04-29. In other words, actually change the name of the file. And then for the timestamp or the date stamp on this, I tell the web server to say this file isn't going to change in 10 years. And basically what that means is if the file gets downloaded once, if somebody visits the site once and they revisit the site, then that file clint's.ping, clint's2.ping, is cached on the client's browser side, so it instantaneously presents because it's already on the person's local machine instead of having to go after it on the server. And then this compressed file transfer, that's all these things, Clint. You're looking for 100 out of 100 here too. And it looks like this entire website, there is no gzip compression turned on. That's a big challenge. Again, if you're using something like HostGator or Bluehost or somebody like that where you don't have any control over it, you may have to go into some kind of PHP cache or plugin or something to mess around with that. I just enable it on my server so all my pages are gzipped. Now this is really bad. First byte time is way too long. First byte time, 0 out of 100. I don't know what the target is, but this is like almost 4 seconds. And if we look at the detail view here of this site, wow. So if you look here, you can see the colors. DNS lookup. This is how long it took to look up the site. Initial connection. This is how long the client browser and the server where the content lives took to negotiate a conversation. And then all this green time. Good Lord, who knows what that's for. Basically, that's the web hosting service rumbling around the guts of the web server trying to get content off a disk into memory and down the internet connection from the server to the browser. So contrast that time with let's look at crazy fast websites here. All right. Now let's just compare these two together a little bit. DNS lookup. So here's DNS lookup. Here's the connection time, and then the time to first byte. The first byte started at 150 milliseconds, and Clint, your server is starting at almost 4 full seconds, not milliseconds. This is 4,000 milliseconds, and mine's starting at 150. And the entire content of my website is serving, see this little green bar here from here to here, is serving in 0.05 seconds. And it's kind of hard to tell because this blue here is how long that it really takes. So that's kind of lost in the noise, but basically this green line here, this is the killer. So you got to get rid of that green line, whatever is causing this time. If you're using WordPress, it may be that's something with database tuning that's off. More than likely, it's something on the server tuning that's off. But anyway, that's got to get stopped. Now this is interesting here. It looks like, okay, those are two different style sheets. Boy, these style sheets are taking a long time to send down the pipe too. This is so 3.7 to 4.7. These things are taking like 1 second a piece, and they can't be that big. Let's just take a look at these. So here's the style sheet. I mean, if it's not compressed, I mean, it's kind of big, but still shouldn't take 1 second, even if it's completely uncompressed, to come down the pipe. If you look here at my style sheets, you can see just how freakishly fast they're coming across, which is 0.2 to 0.3, something like 0.7 0.7 seconds, so maybe oh, okay, so I guess it's saying over here to the side what it is. So this total part of the transaction took 216 milliseconds for the web content to download, 67 milliseconds for this CSS file. And see all these CSS files, 1.5 seconds, 1.2, 1.2, 1.2, these 1.2, these are all 1.2 seconds. 1 second for this JavaScript file. So I suspect that there's something, since these files, these CSS and JavaScript files, and let's see what this file is. This is a ping image, and this is a favicon, which is going to be incredibly small. That's taken a second. So basically there's something badly wrong with the overall web server configuration here. It's not MySQL, it's not PHP, it's something with the actual configuration of the web server. And more than likely the only way to fix that is to change hosting company. So Clint, if you could tell me where this is and let me know, I'll be sure and tell people never go to that hosting company. I mean, fixing your web serving speed and having all green up here, having A's for all these, and any correctly configured web server, you're going to get all A's here anyway. Your images are already compressed and keep alives on, so all you really got to be concerned with is first byte, which is the problem with the web server speed. Compressed images and content being cached should be automatically in effect for any sensibly configured web server. Alright, so let's compare the www version of this website and see what it looks like. Okay, we were looking at the www. Now we're looking at the bare domain, which is so www versus bare domain means no www or anything else in front of it, no subhosts or anything .domain. Now what's interesting here is, and this is something that really has to be fixed, so item number 7 is web server config is broken. Change to fast hosting company. And then number 8, one thing I notice here that is incorrect is typically what it's probably best to do is redirect www to the bare domain. And so, for example, let's do a check here for web page history. I guess I ought to keep a copy of this link someplace so I can quickly refer to it. What I'm doing is I'm doing a web test against the www version of my primary domain. And if you look here, you'll see that www is redirecting. So this is the DNS lookup here. And then there's a connection time, and then there's the time to serve the content. So at the end of 430 milliseconds, there's a 301 redirect here, and that goes to the bare domain. So that means there's really only one place that content is served from, and that's the bare domain. Here, the way your server is set up, Clint, you're actually serving content off of both the www and the bare domain. Now, it may be the same content, but having that type of web server configuration may cause some serious challenges if Google changes the way they index content in the future. It's in essence, it's really better to take any subdomain and redirect it to the bare domain if the subdomain is just an alias, which www is just an alias for the bare domain. And then if we look here at all the CSS files and JSS and the JavaScript files, we're seeing the same thing. They're all 1.2 milliseconds. So the biggest win on this site is simply to fix the web server configuration, and I'd say that just doing that is probably going to take it down to, I mean, I'm just guessing here, but you may even get sub 1 second response time just for having a correctly configured host. So I'm going to say that that's probably far enough to go at this point. Fix these 7 items. Oh, let's see, the redirect is the 8th item. Redirect www to bare domain. So I've got a checklist of 8 items here on this, and if you fix those 8 items, the number 1 item being to fix the web server configuration, then you'll probably get sub 1 second response time.